Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is a pretty big day for me because this is my very first video. Yep, my first one ever. And I've purposely chosen the topic of perfectionism because I used to be a total perfectionist and I know how much it can hold you back. But I've changed my mindset and I've learned some strategies that have helped me overcome it, and I'm excited to share them with you. Plus, let's be honest here. I had to use these very same strategies I'm about to tell you to create this video in the first place. If I would have let perfectionism get to me, I'd still be tinkering with the video and never would have uploaded it. And to be honest, this video is not perfect. It's far from it, actually. And that's okay. I just started learning animation a couple of months ago, and I've never made a video before. So of course I'm not going to be some slick professional in the beginning. And that's okay too. It's all part of the process. So what are these strategies and mindsets? In this video, I'm going to give you 5 super powerful tips on overcoming perfectionism. These tips all tie together, so make sure to watch the whole thing. But first, let's take a look at why we strive for perfection in the first place. See, perfectionism is a tricky thing. It's like a double-edged sword. On one hand, it could push you to do your best, to be your best, and that's amazing. But on the other hand, it could be a real pain in the ass. It can keep you up all night tinkering with that project till it's just right, and then it's never quite perfect, is it? It can send you down a spiral of self-doubt where you never finish anything, and then it comes in and steals your dreams. But where does this need for perfection come from? If we take a closer look, underneath the perfectionism, what we'll find is fear. Fear of being judged, seen as inferior or inadequate or defective in some way. We think that if we can just get this project perfect, then we'll be perceived in a positive light. So this brings us to tip number 1. Not tying your identity to outside things. Whether it's an email, a novel, or a YouTube video, it doesn't define you. Perfectionists tend to think that if their work is well received, then they're awesome. But if it's not so good, then they feel like crap. It's important to understand that whatever you're trying to accomplish doesn't define who you are as a person. If things don't work out, it doesn't mean you're a failure or that you're inferior in any way. It simply means that you just need to put in more work. That's it. Don't worry. It's all part of the process. Which brings us to tip number 2. Be willing to suck at first. Did you know that even famous authors and screenwriters go through multiple drafts before they arrive at the final product? Take Nick Stoller, for example. He's the mastermind behind some of my favorite comedies like Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Get Him to the Greek, Neighbors. His process involves writing a super fast vomit draft, which is a terrible, horrible, messy draft that he writes super fast. Then he reads it and re-outlines it, and he keeps the parts he likes and gets rid of the rest. Then he repeats this process over and over until he finally gets to the draft he likes. His motto is he goes from suck to non-suck. And it's not just novels and movies that are made this way. Everything is. Every great product you've ever used, even your smartphone or iPhone, it's went through so many different iterations before becoming the amazing product that it is today. They all sucked at first. It's just part of the process. Suck to non-suck. Now, how do you let go and let yourself suck at first? That leads us to tip number 3. Realistic expectations. Sometimes we set the bar too high for ourselves, and that can lead to disappointment and frustration. For example, I once learned how to draw. If I had gone into a drawing course expecting to become a master artist in just a couple of weeks, I would have been setting myself up for failure. That's just not how it works. Instead, I need to have realistic expectations for myself. I'm just starting out, and it's okay to suck at first. I might not be able to draw a straight line or proportional shapes right away, but that's okay. I'm just going to focus on the process of improving, of going from suck to non-suck. And this relieves the extra pressure I've put on myself and lets me loosen up and actually enjoy the process. Okay, so a quick recap before we get to the next tip. Tip number 1 was not tying ourselves to any outside things. Tip number 2, be willing to suck at first. Number 3, have realistic expectations. So now this brings us to tip number 4, and that's fail as fast as you can. Make mistakes, learn from them, make more mistakes, learn from those, and repeat the process. The faster you make mistakes, the faster you learn and the better you get. Mistakes are not bad. they're learning opportunities. Failure is actually a stepping stone to success. It was the famous inventor Thomas Edison who, after being asked about all his failures trying to invent the light bulb, he said, "I haven't failed. I just found 10,000 ways that don't work." Now, if good old Edison didn't let himself make mistakes, we'd all be sitting in the dark right now. But I do love candles, so it wouldn't be all that bad. Now, this brings us to the next tip, and this is the one that wraps all of this together. And that's the power of the word yet. This concept comes from Carol Dweck. She's a Stanford psychologist. She has a great TED Talk about this, and I'll include a link in the description below. By embracing the power of yet, we can cultivate a growth mindset that fuels our progress and allows us to overcome challenges. So let's take a closer look at this powerful idea. The phrase "I can't" can be discouraging and limit our potential. But by adding the word yet to the end of that statement, a shift in perspective occurs. Suddenly it becomes, "I can't do it yet." Try this out for yourself. "I can't draw" becomes, "I can't draw yet." Or "I'm not good at math" becomes, "I'm not good at math yet." See the power in this? The simple addition of the word yet acknowledges that our current abilities or our understanding may not be sufficient, but it also recognizes the potential for growth and improvement. Embracing yet means understanding that our current limitations do not define our future potential. It opens the door to a growth mindset that empowers us to persevere, learn from our mistakes, and strive for progress. So the next time you face a difficult task or you encounter some self-doubt, remember the power of yet. Remind yourself that you may not have achieved it yet, but with persistence and effort, you can make progress and ultimately reach your goals. So there you have it. Don't tie your identity to outside things. Be willing to suck at first. Have realistic expectations of yourself. Fail as fast as you can. And remember the power of the word yet. Now, I'd like to take a moment to thank anyone who has actually watched the whole video to the end. Your support means the world to me. I really hope you get something out of this. I also want to extend a special thanks to those who liked and subscribed to my channel. You guys are my very first subscribers, and I'm excited to share this journey with you. I also want to make this channel more of a collaborative space. I want this to be more like a family where we all help and support one another. So if you have any tips or questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments section. Thanks again. I love you all. See you in the next video.